Hi everyone, this is Group A, and we're gonna start our Assessment 3 Integrative Thinking project, which is gonna to discuss about the reduced plastic waste. And this is our structure, totally have 7 parts. Now we're gonna start our presentation now.
For the introduction, I will talk about the background first. Humans are producing too much waste and unable to deal with it sustainably for a long period of time, and the amount of waste produced has a variety of negative effects on the environment, including climate change, wildlife, and public health. Australia is a country which the most recognized and trusted environmental organizations. Although citizens have been taking practical environmental action for almost 30 years through clean up our waste, there are still some problems that continue to grow. Australia creates 540 kilograms of household waste per person every year. According to the calculations, a single person might create over 10 kilograms each week. We do research and conduct a discussion on household waste. Finally, we discovered that plastic waste was the greatest contributor to household waste, with just 9% of it recyclable and 2.1 tons of plastic waste ending up in landfills. There is no doubt that it's the biggest factor that affects our living environment at present, because when plastic waste is burned, carbon dioxide and methane are released into the atmosphere, increasing emissions and contributing to climate change. Several chemicals used in the manufacture of plastic products are known to be carcinogenic and to interfere with the body's endocrine system, causing developmental, reproductive, and neurological issues in people and wildlife together. As a result, we must reduce the amount of plastic waste created as soon as possible. To discover the optimal answer to this issue, this project will apply the integrative thinking process, which includes taking various ideas and assessing the problem that it's trying to solve with new thinking and innovation at the end to solve the issue. There are 4 key stages to the integrative thinking process, which are articulating the models, examining the models, exploring new possibilities, and assessing the prototypes. In the next part, another group member will talk about the first stage, which is articulating the models.
With the development of the economic, people are more and more forward the high quality life, so they pay more attention to environmental protection issues. So as long as everyone is aware of the resourcefulness of the problem will be solved well. However, there are so many challenges on the road to solving the problem. This is the long-term strategy, and it is a difficult problem to take care of everything. This is a very worthwhile problem to solve. The impact of household plastic waste is well known. Once the problem is solved, it can achieve the sustainable development of the earth and also allow people to live in a more comfortable environment. So we can analyze and solve the problem from the different angles. For example, from macro versus macro, private versus public, short-term versus long-term. In the short term, plastic waste can be cleaned in key areas like rivers, lakes, seas, attractions, and the rural area can be developed in targeted manner. In the long run, we can vigorously develop the technical and achievely promote the green design of plastic products, continue to promote the use and the reductions of the disposable plastic products. About the government encourage manufacturers to innovate and provide corresponding subsidy for satisfied researchers and encourage the use of this degradable plastic instead of the plastic. At the same time, it will increase the tax rate on plastic manufacturers to reduce the supply. In order not be confusing and to solve the problem effectively, we will address the problem in two ways. So the next part will discussed by the next group member.
So the stage 2 will look at the models from both macro and micro perspectives. The first model is for the government to provide financial incentives to enterprises that develop alternative materials to plastics, such as glass and paper. Government subsidies enhance government spending while lowering tax receipts for such manufacturers at the macro level. However, this will have significant environmental benefits by lowering the usage of plastic products and thereby reducing plastic waste pollution. More than 300 million tons of plastic are manufactured each year, according to the IUCN, with at least 14 million tons of plastic garbage ending up in the ocean. Plastic contamination in the ocean is believed to kill 100,000 marine species per year. On the micro level, when government incentives and subsidies encourage and support business owners, the cost of production falls and output rise, increasing demand for non-plastic products. Of course, consumers are more inclined to purchase lower cost alternatives to plastic goods. Non-plastic goods sales will improve as well. The second model is to increase plastic makers' taxes. $0.2 per pound tax on raw plastic used to create single-use plastic products is one of the suggestions in the Build Back Better Act. Higher tax money might be utilized to fund makers of alternative plastic products. This technique tries to prevent environmental pollution by limiting the production of plastic products and minimizing their use and waste at its source. The increase in the producer's tax expenditure, the increase in production cost, and the fall in demand will all result in reduction in production. Cost increases will result in higher pricing, which both consumers and sellers dislike. The seller will lower his inventory. Both models strive to reduce plastic waste by lowering plastic product manufacturing and use. The distinction is that the first approach is to replace plastic with other recyclable materials, whereas the second model is to target plastic makers directly. The next stage is exploring the possibilities.
For the stage 2, already discussed the advantage of two solutions, but it is hard to choose which one is much better or which one is much worse. So in the stage 3, we'll discuss and explore the possibility, which means that build property integrative solution that resolve tension between two models and create a better answer than was possible before. Specifically speaking, find the best solution in the decomposition by creating prototype integration, that is, put the model together in a new way so that each model can be applied in whole to a specific part of the problem. And for the decomposition part, for the content about the decomposition, there are both the advantage and weakness for the solution. For the model 1, the government provides substitute to manufacturing of this degradable plastic to reduce the price of such commodity, but does not inhibit the production of plastic waste in household waste. For the model 2, the government, according to increase the tax to reduce the production of normal plastic. It is difficult to guarantee that the purchase demand will decrease if the selling price is only increased by increasing the tax on plastic product. but it is still at the same or lower price relative to other recyclable plastic and glass product, and there is loyalty in household purchase. For both model has their advantage and are difficult to solve problem at the same time. Finally, by merging the two solutions, the production of ordinary plastic can be reduced and the recyclable plastic has obvious price advantage. We will illustrate the effect of combining these two solutions through the survey. Now is our group member part.
With the analysis above, the solutions are taxation and subsidy, which are operated by the government. Here are some examples in Europe and the US to support these solutions. With the data of the OECD, there is a 90% reduction of plastic bags using in 2002 because our taxation rate is set at 0.50. It was higher than the average consumer willingness to pay for the plastic bags, which is hovered around 0.024. Moreover, Ireland increased tax rate again in 2006 to 0.22 per bag to solving problem of single-use plastic using. Here is another example. The plastic taxation on all plastic products had operated by the Europe countries, and the United Kingdom is the first country operated this in October of 2011. Charging rate in 1st of January in 2021 is a uniform rate of EUR 0.8 per kilogram, the weight of non-recycled plastic packaging waste. With the operation of the plastic tax, the European Union takes it into the part of the EU recovery package necessitated by EU spending as a result of COVID-19. And the chart on the right shows that each member states contribute tax amount. With the taxation, we will solve the plastic producing. Next, I will talk about the subsidies. Besides the taxation, the subsidy operation is necessary to solve the plastic, which is existed. With the report by BBC Future, Moral Technology has begun construction of the world's first commercial scale plant, which we are able to recycle all kinds of plastic. It can handle mixed plastic, colored plastic, and plastic of all composited. At the same time, they are trying to seek the special value of plastic, such as turn it into low-quality oil, as motivated by Professor Peter Quicker in 2019. And there is a chemical recycling project, which is funded by United Kingdom and reported by Caulfield University in 2021. On the other hand, the US Department of Energy announced there was $14.5 million invested for research and development to solve the plastic problem in 25th of May in 2021. Bottle, which is simplified by bio-optimized technologies to keep thermoplastics out of landfills and the environment. The aim of Bottle is developing new chemical recycling strategies for today's plastic and redesigning for the future plastics, and their aim was signed on their official website. Besides the example, our group also designed a questionnaire for 100 people in society to get the data to analyze that citizens agree with taxation on plastics and subsidies on research and development about plastics. The questionnaire shown on the left, and we use data to make out a chart. It showed on the right. We got that the percentage of people who agree is higher than people who disagree in both view of taxation and subsidies. Next, my group member will talk about the final solution and make a conclusion for our presentation.
Okay, so let's talk about the solution. According to the integrative thinking process, the optimal option is to place a new model based on model 1 and 2, which implies the government should not only provide subsidy to replace plastic, but also a tax on plastic manufacturing. This is a good solution since it decreases households' demand for plastic items through tax and encourage plastic replacement innovation in our lives, which can reduce plastic in two directions, allowing the problem to be addressed more efficiently. To mention that certain households may be inelastic to plastic product. Therefore, the tax may be inefficient for this segment. However, if lower price substitutes exist, plastic usage will decline even more. For the last part, it's the conclusion.
To conclude, we identify the problem of plastic waste, and according to the 4 stage of the integrative thinking process, an optimal solution is made to reduce plastic waste effectively. We articulate 2 option models. One model is designed to provide subsidies to manufacturers who can replace plastic, and the other model is to impose a tax on plastic manufacturers. Evaluation of them through their advantage and disadvantage by research and survey. The optimal solution is the combination of them and creating a new model, not just applying one model in real world life. Here is our reference list. Thanks for your watching and listening.